We might not have met yet, but if you know Colorado, you know just about all you need to know about me. I'm Mark Hillman, and I'd like to be your state treasurer. I grew up in Burlington, a small town on the Eastern Plains. In fact, it's still my home. I know all my neighbors, and heck, just about everybody in town. Everybody also knows me. Like you, I work hard, I help my friends and neighbors when they need a hand. In my hometown, folks don't care about your party affiliation, or where you went to school, or how big your house is. They just want to know that you're honest, they can trust you, and that you can get the job done. I still make my living raising wheat on our family farm. Farming's a tough business these days. To be successful, farmers have to be part small business manager, part economist, and part scientist. Most importantly, we must be responsible stewards of our resources, land, water, and money, just like your state treasurer should be a responsible steward of your tax dollars. Growing up on a farm, I learned things like common sense, the meaning of hard work, the value of a dollar, and the importance of keeping your promises. I quickly understood the importance of living within your budget and putting a little money aside to prepare for tough times. Most importantly, I learned about getting the best yield for the least amount of risk. That's why I still keep my roots on a farm, to make sure I never forget those important lessons. Early in my career, I worked 8 years for my hometown newspaper. I was a reporter, sports editor, photographer, even janitor. I enjoyed reporting about the good things going on in our community, especially in our schools, both in the classroom and on the athletic field. In fact, on Friday nights, you can still find me on the sidelines, keeping statistics for my hometown high school football team. It's important to stay connected to things that are real, to your roots and to your community. Too often, people at the state capitol forget what it's like in the real world. 8 years ago, real people, just like you, elected me to represent one of the largest districts in the Colorado Senate. My experience in business served me well in the Senate. I work hard for the people I represent, and I like to think they notice. I worked hard to stop lawsuits and fought to protect hardworking small businesses, earning a 100% record with the National Federation of Independent Business. I fought to protect property rights and to promote agriculture, and the Colorado Farm Bureau selected me as its outstanding senator. The other senators elected me to leadership posts for 5 of my 7 years. During that time, I worked together across party lines, putting politics aside, to find common sense solutions for Colorado. In 2000, a nonpartisan group named me National Legislator of the Year. There were other nice honors too, but nothing meant more to me than the opportunity to help people. Sometimes government can be stubborn. Sometimes government forgets that taxpayers pay the bills and that government exists to serve us, not the other way around. A simple thank you is certainly the nicest honor that I ever received.
There we go. Now, get going here. 25, 30, get the 35, 35, get the 25, 35, 35, 50 here, 50. Now 60 here, 60 here, 55, 55, 55.
I'd like to introduce the next state treasurer, Mr. Mark Hillman.
This is my wife, Heidi, and I'll make sure that just as I tried to meet all of you when you came in, I'll make sure that she goes around and starts working the table so that she gets to meet all of you as well.
When Mark and I first met, I knew I had met someone special. He showed a passion for life that I had not seen in anybody I'd ever met before. A dedication to whatever the task was at hand. There are so many things to admire about Mark. His love for this state and his passion for rural Colorado. His commitment to his constituents. He's thoughtful and sincere. His leadership demonstrates integrity, humility, and decisiveness. He's hardworking and thoughtful, and he would be an excellent state treasurer.
Last year in June, State Treasurer Mike Kaufman went to serve our country in Iraq. Governor Owens appointed me to take his place as Colorado's Chief Financial Officer. Now, if you own a business or work for one, you know how important the Chief Financial Officer's job is. He invests the business's assets and makes sure it has the money to pay its bills and its employees on time. I was Colorado's Chief Financial Officer for nearly a year. This experience helps me understand the cost and value of government to each of us. I know what it's like to have a real job and to make ends meet. I know that budgets are easy to write, but require real discipline to keep. I know how much health care costs, and I know the frustration of dealing with bureaucratic red tape. Most importantly, I know what it's like to sign a paycheck on the front side as well as the back. My vision for the state treasurer's office is simple. You have a right to expect your state treasurer to get more from your tax dollars, not to take more of your tax dollars. My pledge to you is to always put the taxpayer first. That means working cooperatively with other state officials regardless of party lines and personal agendas. That takes a blend of real-world common sense and a keen understanding of government. It's important to make wise financial decisions that meet today's needs without passing the buck to future generations. Sometimes government faces tough choices that nobody likes. As state treasurer, my job is to help Colorado plan for a sound, stable future. The same prudent planning that serves me well in business serves Colorado well. There's no guarantee that you and I will have more money to spend every year. We know that's how the real world works. I think government should live in the real world too, investing wisely and planning for the good times and the tough times that inevitably lie ahead.
My notion of good government is that state government is at its best when it focuses on fundamentals, like transportation, education, and public safety. I think state government is at its best when it fosters opportunity and self-sufficiency. And then most importantly, I think state government's at its best when it respects the hard work of Colorado families and Colorado businesses.
At the state capitol, lobbyists and bureaucrats always seem to think the answer is more money, more of your hard-earned money. For the last 8 years, I've proven that you can count on me to put the needs and the interests of taxpayers ahead of the special interests of lobbyists and bureaucrats. That's not always popular at the Capitol, but it's the right thing to do for the people of Colorado. Now it's time to decide who will be your state treasurer for the next 4 years. If you want someone you can relate to, someone who expects government to practice the same financial discipline that Colorado families and businesses practice every day, then I'd be honored to have your support. I'm Mark Hillman, and I'd like to be your state treasurer. Thank you.